In 1670, the first organised pension scheme became available in the UK. It was launched by the Royal Navy. Since then, many of us have been completely lost at sea when it comes to our pension funds. But is it really that complicated? Come with me now on this short journey as our intrepid pension treasure hunter seeks to unlock some of the buried treasure within the pensions that may be of use to you or someone you love and care about. When it comes to putting money into your pension, a lot of people miss the fact that there's tax relief on your contributions. Now don't switch off, this is actually really interesting. So with the help of my daughter Caris here, we'll show you. If I decide to put £100 into my pension pot, then the taxman puts in £25. So for every £100 I put in, he's putting 20%, which grossed up is another £25, and so on. And this means the pot builds up very quickly. If I'm a 40% taxpayer, for every £100 I put in, I get first of all the £25, and then I can go and claim back another £25. So putting money in really is a fantastic idea because of the tax relief. Pretty soon we've got a good full pension pot. But what about when we come to retire? Well, from the age of 55, you may be then looking at your pension sandcastle. Now, this is a particularly poor sandcastle we've made here, but we're going to give you an illustration of what has been happening up until recently. So when you come to take your pension, the government say that you can have up to 25% of the pension pot now as tax-free cash. So we'll move that over there and we'll go and spend that. The rest of the pot has, up until recently, mostly been used to buy something called an annuity, which is an income for life. This makes it very, very easy for you because you haven't got to use any brain power. But the problem is that the pot has been taken away and it's gone. You can't then usually get it back. The other alternative to the sandcastle route, which I showed you, of taking an annuity, is to go into something called drawdown. Now, as soon as you start mentioning drawdown, usually people's eyes glaze over. But Caris here has very kindly made us a sand chocolate bar to illustrate how drawdown can work. So let's imagine now that Caris here is 55 years old and she's about to retire. She can take up to 25%, so that's 3 chunks, Caris. If we cut off 3 chunks, you want to give me a hand here? So cut along there, that's it. We can take away 25% tax-free cash, just the same as we could with the sandcastle. The difference is, though, is that once we've taken these bits out, we can still leave in place the other chunks. The other thing we could do is we could take just maybe 1 chunk. Let's take this chunk, Caris. We'll have this one out. So we'll take it away completely. It's gone. But the other chunks are still in place. And we can choose to come back and spend those on another day. So that's it. You're ready to enjoy your lovely pension and all of its benefits. Looks great.
Thank you.
Oi! Of course, it's not quite that simple. If you're not careful, you'll end up losing large amounts of your pension to monsters. Of course, those monsters are usually in the form of tax. Let me talk you through some of those tax trap monsters now. Let's just talk through the annual allowance. How much can you actually put into a pension plan in a single tax year? Well, anybody in the UK can put £3,600 per year. Just drop my money. So £3,600 per year, even if you're not earning. Even a baby can put £3,600 a year in. That's jolly good news if you're a grandparent and you want to put money aside for your grandchildren to use when they're a bit more mature in life. But what about if you're an earner? Well, if you're earning more than £3,600, you can put it in, but you can't put in more than you're earning. So be careful on that point. The other thing to bear in mind is something called the annual allowance cap. This has fallen considerably over the years, from over 200,000 right down to £40,000 in this tax year. So don't go paying more in than the annual allowance, or you're likely to get caught with a punitive tax charge. The one good piece of news is you can seek to carry back the past 3 tax years. It gets complicated, and this is probably where you will need the specialist advice of a qualified financial planner. The other thing you need to be very careful of is something called the lifetime allowance. As you build up your pension funds within your total pension pot, the government will be watching to make sure that you don't exceed the lifetime allowance, which is currently £1.25 million. If you start to have more in the pot than you should have, they'll start to tax you on everything that comes out over the top. Many of us want to know how we get as much money out of our pensions as possible. What's the way out without paying too much tax? Well, this is where the chocolate bar that we looked at earlier becomes useful. If, Caris, we take away all of our tax-free cash, we've had one bit, we spent that, so we didn't pay any tax on getting that out. Here's the next bit, and here's the final bit. So we've now had a quarter of our crystallised chocolate bar. That's all been taken. Now then, I'll come on to my next chunk. Let's say I've spent all of my money here. I need some more money out to survive. Well, I start taking my chunk away. There you go, Caris. So I'll take that.
Thank you.
What are you doing?
It's the tax.
It's the tax.
Yes.
It is the tax. And that's the problem. Every time you take out a chunk after the tax-free cash, just bear in mind that really probably 20% of it is going to be taken by the taxman. So you need to take more to get out what you need to live on. And this is really important and can lead to pension shipwrecks if you're not careful. Okay, so let's talk about the actual pension itself when you come to taking the money out. I've got here a milk bottle with a hole in the bottom. This is my pension pot, and I've got Caris to very kindly help me illustrate how we will make sure that the money tries to last. So Caris, if you can fill this up from the pond very carefully. Here we go. You're going to soak Daddy now, aren't you? Good girl. Excellent. Now, as you can see, the investment is growing. The dividends and the income are coming in the top. But at the bottom, of course, you're taking your income. If you're taking as much income as you can see the level is starting to run down. And if you have a quiet investment market, things might be tough and it's not coming in the top. Come on, Caris, keep up. Then the water level or your pension fund will start to run down. Come on, Car, hurry up. Oh dear. Oh, the investment manager's made a few bad calls there. It's not gone in the top. That's it. Okay, good. Go and fill up again, quick. Go and fill up again. That's it. As you can see, we're nearly at the bottom here. In fact, Caris, it's just not working. We've run right down. I'm basically poor. There's nothing left. I've run out. You need to be very, very careful when you're taking your money out of the pension that you're not taking more than is coming in, or else, in our buried treasure language, you'll end up with nothing more than a pension shipwreck. At the start of our retirement, we're far more concerned perhaps with getting money out of our pension. But as life progresses and we climb up through our retirement, we start to think about those that we're going to leave behind. Perhaps the Chancellor's latest announcement that those under the age of 75 will now be able to leave everything completely free to their loved ones is a very, very important thing. And it will mean that we can work our way through retirement, hopefully being able to hold on to something within our pension pots to hand on to those that we love. You know, at Thomas & Thomas, we believe that no two people are the same. Everybody's financial plan and circumstances will be slightly different. Therefore, if there's something you've seen or heard today that you'd like to discuss in further detail, please give us a call. Also, If you feel that this video may be of use to someone you care about, please pass it on to them. I hope that you've enjoyed our buried treasure video today. Now, what did I do with that ice cream? Karis? You know, at Thomas & Thomas, we believe that two people are not the same. So, try again. Okay.